I remind you that it's not us that said no to the ceasefire that was offered to us by Egypt. Israel said no at the level that we were sure that we will not be able to stop Hamas, but indeed we said that we are willing to accept it, and Hamas didn't want because they have aim, like always, to hurt as much Israeli civilians. And I remind you that the Israeli IDF is not aiming to kill innocent people. This is exactly the aim of Hezbollah, who is shooting until now more than 2,000 rockets on Israeli citizens and cities. Lucky for us, we can stop it with the Iron Dome, but just understand what is the real aim of Hamas. This is not the real aim of the IDF.
But isn't that the entire point, that despite this war, in fact, despite 3 wars and 7 years of an Israeli siege, rockets are still being fired to southern Israel and now also to Tel Aviv? So isn't it time now for a concerted push, an effort to actually talk to Hamas and try to address some of their concerns, some of their ceasefire terms, if you like, primarily ending the siege in Gaza?
Actually, I'm very supportive of this idea. Hamas have to understand that he cannot talk with Israel with rockets like his colleagues in Fatah did 20 years ago. Hamas have to put his weapon and rockets ability aside to demilitarize Gaza from being a terror state and to speak with Israel as a legitimate party in the Palestinian Authority, after we will make sure that Hamas don't have a capability to hurt Israel once again. And I offer the Israeli society and government to understand that only military solution is not the ultimate solution, but we have to also make a diplomatic effort together with Abu Mazen in Ramallah, together with Egypt, together with Arab element that is willing to make a dialogue with Israel. And if Hamas will want in the future to join the effort of talking to Israel, understand that Israel is not here to disappear but to stay, we will be more than happy to talk with Hamas, but we will never talk with Hamas as long as they are having a state of terror, and this is unfortunately the situation right now.
In the last 2 weeks, we've seen at the beginning of the military operation, it was generally airstrikes and artillery fire from the sea. It was seen in Israel as an operation that was going well, but in the last few days of the ground operation, we've seen over 20 Israeli soldiers being killed. We now have this news that there is either a captured Israeli soldier in Hamas's hands or the remains of a soldier in Hamas's hands. Is this a failed ground operation for Netanyahu?
No, it's not. And actually, as an opposition, we gave green light to Netanyahu and support him for the ground operation because we understood that we can no longer control it only by airstrike. You have to understand that there is dozens, maybe hundreds of tunnels that shoot missiles on Israeli citizens, and we understood that it's very hard to find them only by air. These tunnels allow the Hamas to shoot these missiles, and only ground operation can actually stop it. We know that the casualties that we have is something that is very, it's hurting the people of Israel. Every soldier in Israel is important. I remind you that we released hundreds of prisoners only to get 1 soldier back. So you have to understand how much this is painful for Israel. But this is the aim of the army. This is the role of the army. I wish that we will not have more casualties, but those soldiers go there out of a mission to allow the Israelis to have blue sky free of rockets like you need in London and in Paris, and this is something that we have to promise also to our Israeli citizens.